These are baddies, and I don't mean the influencer types with the Brazilian butt lifts. They don't care that the holidays are right around the corner, or how hard you work for your money. All they care about is stealing or robbing what you have for their own personal gain. Now, as civilians, if we confronted these baddies and they were to get hurt, they could press criminal charges against us. The audacity. The police usually claim to be under-resourced and understaffed, and they always ask for clear CCTV footage. So, is it as simple as that? Ooh, in this video, guys, today we are going to talk about installing a security camera to make your home a little bit more secure, whether you're a homeowner, whether you're renting, whether you want to just look after a certain point of interest, look at your car, look at your garage, an extra pair of eyes on something that you're interested in. Hopefully not somebody's bedroom window. Yikes! In this video, we're going to talk about researching it, what to look out for, mounting the camera, and of course installing and integrating it into your home. Now, for the first time ever on this channel, I'm so excited to announce we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away this camera to a lucky subscriber. Watch till the end of this video and you'll find out exactly how you can win it. Back to the video. If you'd like me to cover a video where I look at all types of cameras, please let me know in the comments, but this video is very focused on generic points. Research. This is perhaps the most critical thing to look out for. So we need something that satisfies or ticks a lot of boxes, and most importantly, it needs to satisfy our pocket. As with everything, it's a compromise. You need to look for the characteristics that best suit your pocket and your needs. What's good for you may not be good for me, and likewise. Availability. These places are the most common and provide very good value. Make sure to read reviews, check the sample footage, and of course, do some additional Google searching for the best prices. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, but when it comes to AI, limit the amount of personal information you feed it. More on that in another video. Unboxing. Now that you have your camera, it's time to do the unboxing, to make sure that you have everything, and of course, although you may have had a mounting consideration in mind, with the actual camera at hand, you can decide where exactly you'd like to put it, or exactly where it could go based on the mounting brackets. The camera I selected is a pan, tilt and zoom camera, which allows for easy adjustment after it's been installed. But more on that a little bit later. Setup. Some cameras have local storage, like this one. Here I am using an SD card that needs to be installed prior to setting up the camera and initializing it. Some cameras also allow usage of cloud storage, where videos are automatically saved to the cloud for viewing later on. Mounting. Now that we have seen the camera, it's time to look for a mounting location. We want to find a place that is at least 2 meters above the ground and somewhere that do-baddies or people with ill intentions cannot easily access them. As part of this process, you need to consider proximity to Wi-Fi routers and of course power to get the camera operational. Depending on the type of camera you have, you may need to do some additional wiring to get the connectivity or power to the camera. Now, a white camera on a dark background or a brick colored background is going to basically stick out like a sore thumb. However, we need to camouflage this camera as best as we can or mount it in a place where it's not easily seen. A camera that is easily seen can be easily bypassed by do-baddies. Now, it may be easier to just buy the camera in the right color. However, I'm going to improvise, adapt and overcome and show you what can be done with a little bit of vinyl. Now, DPM or disruptive pattern material allows you to play a trick on people's eyes. It's a form of camouflage that the military use, which we know as camouflage wear. It works by disrupting the pattern that your eyes would typically expect to see an object in. So because it doesn't initially look like a camera, your eyes would think it's not a camera. Hence why it camouflages. With both cameras side by side, you can see that one will blend in a dark background or in a dark place, and the other one will stick out like the Kardashians in a monastery. So once we've decided where we're going to mount our camera on the outside, we need to understand where that corresponds on the inside of the house. If you have a wall scanner, this would be an ideal time to use it. However, if you don't, you need to be careful and avoid potentially breaking any wires or drilling into any pipes. Here I've penciled a location for the mounting box. This will go inside the drywall, but first I need to find out what's behind this point. Using a drywall cutout tool, I'm actually making a small box in the drywall to see what's behind the wall itself. I don't want to find any nasty surprises like pipes or any wires, so this will allow me to just have a little peep inside without causing too much damage. After inspecting the cutout hole, I've established that there aren't any obstacles that should worry me, so I'm free to proceed with cutting out the rest of the box for the connections. Now in my case, behind the drywall is actually an air gap, and then it's a thermal block. Behind that is another air gap, and then finally the external brick that you see on the outside of the house. Now we will need a drill bit that is long enough to go from inside the house to penetrate the outside wall. When looking at the length of the bit, also factor in the downward slope that you need when penetrating the wall. The downward angle is needed to prevent any water from seeping into the actual structure of the house itself. Always remember to cater for external pipes or water pipes that may come from the roof. Here I am measuring to make sure that I clear those pipes and clear any obstacles that you could potentially drill into and cause a bit of mess. Basically, measure twice or thrice and drill once. When it comes to drill bits, size matters. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Alright, we're going to just drill here again with this angle, not this angle, but that angle. And we'll get through there, and then from there we can take things outside and tidy up inside. Alright, let's do it. There we go, boys. Yeah, boy. Outside. Now, instead of mounting the camera directly to the outside wall, what I wanted to do is mount it on an electrical box. This electrical box will allow me to put any connections in there from outside to make the camera easy to connect or disconnect depending on the situation. Moreover, some of these power cables come with large USB ends that are not easily removed, so we might need to cut the wire and then later rejoin it within the electrical box. This is going to go on the wall. We're going to knock this here out to put that on, to feed the wire through. This will be invertly mounted on here. And what we will do is put some black tape over there to make it look nice and stealthy. This will give us some clearance to get around that pipe that I told you about earlier. And this will go over here like so, mounted on the wall. Now to the outside of the house, and here we have the hole that was drilled from the inside to the outside on a sloping downward angle. So now we're going to feed the power and Ethernet wires through there. Here I am using the knockouts. I've knocked one out and I'll feed the wire through there. Just using a screwdriver to smoothen the hole itself, because I don't want any rough edges potentially cutting the wires. Now we're back inside the house and we're going to fish the wire through. Now this isn't Carwow, but we do have a bamboo of truth that is going to prod that hole and fish the wire through. On the outside of the house, this is our fish connection, our fish hook effectively. So this wire is looped on to the other wire and taped off with some electrical tape, which is then attached to the bamboo of truth. Now what we need to do is fish this back through there, like so. Come on. Keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. You kind of get the idea. We're going to have to go inside and try to pull it now. After doing that, I then had to climb the ladder again and mount the electrical box. We have the box mounted on the wall via these screws right there. Just make sure you thread the wire through the box hole before you're making that hook. Before you're making the hook to fish the wire through. Now we're going to just pull the wire through, get the camera wire in, and yeah. Put the faceplate on here, get everything start looking situated, closed up, all good. Alright. We're just about nearly finished with outside. Here I am mounting the electrical box cover and the camera bracket itself to that cover. From there everything will be buttoned up, situated, and then we can head inside and finish up. It wasn't long before I noticed something. I needed some way to feed the wire through the electrical box cover, and then I put some holes in the bottom to drain any excess water from inside. With the box mounted to the wall, I could then feed the camera wire through into the house itself. I've got some putty, which will then be used to plug the hole to prevent any insects from coming into the electrical box. Now I've got the electrical box cover mounted, I've got the holes for the camera bracket, and then I'm going to just put that on, get the camera all situated and mounted. When you're doing this, just be careful not to pinch or drill into any wires in the box itself. Now we're finally done with outside. Let's head back in. Back in the inside of the house, we're just going to pull through the fish wire. You see that loop we created earlier, and then we're just going to pull until the camera wire, which is a white one, comes through. That didn't feel too good. Oh yes. with the wire through, I'm just going to put some putty in that hole so little insects or critters don't come in there. I installed the electrical box and I used a rubber grommet. It's really important to use a rubber grommet because we don't want the steel box cutting into the wire. For this install I had this brushed faceplate lying around, so I used that from the shed install. Earlier we used a drill bit that penetrated the wall. However, a drill bit that is as wide enough to fit a USB socket through will be too wide and create an unnecessarily large hole. In this case, I actually cut the USB wire and I plan to rejoin it, which is a lot easier. To rejoin the wires, I'm just going to use some heated solder connections. Nice and simple, and some heat shrink.
Okay, so this is the process. First we put on some heat shrink, we pull that back on the insulation itself. We're then going to sleeve over these little solder joints on each of these wires here, 1, 2, and then we will heat shrink them on and then pull the sleeve up onto the joint itself. If you did it correctly, you should have something that looks like this. The copper bit in the middle where the solder joint is, heat shrink on either side, heat shrink on either side. Now we're just going to use the heat gun and shrink everything down. Now what I like to do for peace of mind, just to make sure that there's not too much pressure on the actual joint that will be soldered, I use a piece of wire and I just tape it onto the jacket from one side, onto the jacket of the other, so the weak point in the middle doesn't get too much strain. So this effectively acts as a tether to hold any additional strain. Yeah, that's a little hack there.
Guys, we did it. We installed the camera. Awesome! Come on, let's go! Now being a Pantos on zoom camera, it actually rotates. You can zoom in, you can go from left to right, and it goes around 360 degrees. This was a relatively easy install, and anybody could do this. So you've made it this far in the video. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. For this video, I've teamed up with IE Geek to give away this particular camera. You can win it. All you need to do is like the video, subscribe to my channel, and of course leave a really good comment below. Let me know exactly why you would want this camera. Yeah, the best comment wins, period. So you can win this camera. It's free. It won't cost you anything. Protect your home. Make your home a little bit safer. Please don't look at any neighbor's windows. I can't be held liable for that. No. Till next time.